Vraja Janaranjana, Jayo Vraja Janaranjana,
Jai Yashodanandana, Jayo Vraja Janaranjana, Jayo Vraja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana, Jayo Vraja Janaranjana, Jayo Vraja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana, Jayo Vraja Janaranjana, Jayo Vraja Janaranjana.
Jamuna tire vanachari, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Yamuna tiravanachari, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Jayo Jamuna tire vanachari, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Jayo Yamuna tiravanachari, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jayo Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada
Jayo Sachinandana Gaura Hare Jayo Sachinandana Gaura Hare
Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivraja Kacharya Astottara Satashi Shrimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopina Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhana ki Shri Vrindavana Dham ki Shri Mathura Dwarka Dham ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki Shri Navadip Mayapur Dham ki Shri Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir ki Shri Krishna Balaram Mandir ki Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Mandir ki je Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Bhakti Devi Tulasi Maharani ki Harinam Sankirtana ki jai Srimad Bhagavatam class ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nastaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, Chapter 7, text number 15. Ataham Amaracharyam Ataham Amaracharyam Agada Dishanam Dvijam Agada Dishanam Dijam Prashadayisye Nishata Prashadayisye Nishata Shrishna Tat Charanam Sprishan Shrishna Tat Charanam Sprishan Ataham Amaracharyam Agadadishanam Dvijam Prashadaisye Nishata Shishnata Charanam Sprisham Ataham Amaracharyam Agadadishanam Dvijam Prashadaisye Nishata Shrishna Tacharanam Sprisham. Ata, therefore, aham, I, Amara Acharyam, the spiritual master of the demigods, Agadadishanam, whose spiritual knowledge is deep, Dvijam, the perfect Brahmana, Prashadayisye, I shall please, Nishata, without duplicity, Shishna, with my head, Tat Charanam, is lotus feet, Sprishan, touching. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. King Indra said, therefore, with great frankness and without duplicity, I shall now bow my head at the lotus feet of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods. Because he is in the mode of goodness, he is fully aware of all knowledge and is the best of the Brahmanas. Now I shall touch his lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him and try to satisfy him. King Indra said, therefore, with great frankness and without duplicity, I shall now bow my head at the lotus feet of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, because he is in the mode of goodness. He is fully aware of all knowledge and is the best of the Brahmanas. Now I shall touch his lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him and try to satisfy him. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Coming to his senses, King Indra realized that he was not a very sincere disciple of his spiritual master, Brihaspati. Therefore, he decided that henceforward he would be Nishata, non-duplicitus. Nishata Srishna Tacharanam Sprisam. He decided to touch his head to the lotus feet of his spiritual master. From this example, we should learn this principle enunciated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one is benedicted by the mercy of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. A disciple should never be a hypocrite or be unfaithful to his spiritual master. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 17, 27, the spiritual master is also called Acharya. Acharya mam vijanyaham. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says that one should respect the spiritual master, accepting him as the Lord himself. Nava manyeta karichit. One should not disrespect the Acharya at any time. Namartya buddha suyeta. One should never think the Acharya an ordinary person. Familiarity sometimes breeds contempt, but one should be very careful in one's dealing with the Acharya. Agada disanam dvijam. The Acharya is a perfect Brahmana and has unlimited intelligence in guiding the activities of his disciples. Therefore, Krishna advises in Bhagavad Gita 4:34, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. One should fully surrender unto the spiritual master, and with service, sevaya, one should approach him for further spiritual enlightenment. Om ajnana timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshu shurumilitam jena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Sri Chaitanya manobistam stapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamayam dadati sva padamtikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. From these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can clearly understand that to assume position of responsibility is very pleasant at one time, but is also very dangerous. Because with power comes great responsibility. And if a person becomes proud, puffed up, that now I have achieved a very high position, whether it's in the material society, as a businessman, or as a leader, political leader, or in religious institutions, if he becomes proud, then he is very easily prone to commit offenses. Therefore, we see here how Indradev, the king of the demigods, disrespected his spiritual master Brihaspati, and he brought great miseries upon himself due to that offense, that aparad, guru aparad. That is the third offense to the holy name of the Lord, to disobey the order of the spiritual master and to consider him an ordinary person. So, spiritual life is very wonderful, it's very beautiful, but it is a double-edged razor also. If we are not careful, we cut ourselves. But if we are careful, if we are very diligent, introspective, and faithful to the order of the Acharya, sometimes we don't understand that order. But we should never overimpose our material intelligence in trying to solve what we don't understand. Rather, we should simply follow the order of the spiritual master and continue on the path which is being chalked out by him, because he knows what is good for us. The spiritual master knows. He's very expert, here it is stated. The Acharya has unlimited intelligence. Unlimited. We have limited intelligence because we are conditioned. We have come to this material world, and according to the modes of material nature, we are endowed with certain qualities. And therefore, our power to understand, our power to acquire knowledge, our power to guide others, it's all depending on our own position. A child cannot guide a grown-up man, or a person who is in 8th standard, he cannot guide a person who is in universities. So according to position, we can guide or we can receive guidance. But the spiritual master, he has unlimited intelligence. Why he has unlimited intelligence? He is not omniscient. But because he is directly in touch, directly under the guidance of the Lord, and therefore is in continuous communication with the Lord. And whatever he wants to know, he knows. Because the Lord supplies him unlimited intelligence and unlimited knowledge. Acharya mam vijanyaham nava manyeta karichit. The Acharya is my very self. Therefore, we have to be very careful who we accept as the spiritual master. Because accepting the spiritual master means total surrender. I don't know if you know, but Srila Prabhupada used to say that the spiritual master, sometimes he tells the disciple, oh, this is a rope. And the disciple accepts. Yes, Gurudev, it is a rope. No, fool, it is a snake. Yes, Gurudev, it is a snake. No, you fool, it is a rope. Yes, Gurudev, it is a rope. That faith we must have. We cannot challenge all the, how you say, the examinations. It is allowed that for some time, at least for 1 year, one should examine the spiritual master to see whether he is fit. And the spiritual master examines the disciple also to see whether he is actually a fit candidate to receive his mercy, because it is not cheap. It is not cheap. And the disciple, prospective disciple, he studies the spiritual master, lives in the ashram, and associates with the spiritual master. Of course, when we joined Krishna consciousness, this was not possible. Srila Prabhupada was a globetrotter. He could not stay in one place more than a few days. He traveled the world 14 times in 12 years. Not a joke. What he has done in 12 years is beyond human energy, beyond human imagination. So how did we examine our spiritual master? And how did we fulfill this tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya? Inquire submissively. We didn't meet Srila Prabhupada. Most of his disciples did not meet Srila Prabhupada. Most disciples never met Srila Prabhupada. Then how did we fulfill this How did we examine our spiritual master? And how did he examine us? This is very interesting. Sometimes when we are faced by those who are thinking that Srila Prabhupada is not the spiritual master anymore and that we must take guidance of a living guru, they quote this verse, Tadvidhi pranipatena, that you must receive knowledge from the guru. You must approach the guru. You must inquire from him. You must render service to him. So it's a contradiction, seemingly. But it is not. Because Srila Prabhupada, as the Acharya, he set up an institution. And whoever came to the temple, just like when we joined the temple, we simply followed the temple programs. We never asked the devotees, how long have you been in ISKCON? We always respected the devotees as our senior. The moment we enter the temple, the devotee before us might have joined the day before. We didn't know that, but we respected. So there was a system that Srila Prabhupada instituted. And what is that system that is today going on here in this temple? That we follow the authorities, the temple president. We follow the regulative principle of Krishna consciousness. We chant 16 rounds. We get up early. We go to Mangalartik, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class, take Krishna Prasadam. This was the exchange. This is the exchange. And through this process, we are actually exchanging, we are actually communicating and dealing with the spiritual master, though he may not be physically present. And that is also not true, because Srila Prabhupada is right here. The Murti of the Acharya is not different from, just like the deity of the Lord is not different from the Lord. So similarly, the deity of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, is not different from Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, we have his physical presence. We have his physical presence. In every temple. There is that story of that, I forgot his name, of that Acharya, South Indian Brahmin. No, he's from Bangalore. He was a great devotee. Sampat Kumar Bhattacharya. He went to Bangalore, Bombay, and he met Prabhupada. He flew all the way from Bangalore to meet Prabhupada. And he was telling him, Srila Prabhupada, you have established your murtis all over the world. And people will come and touch your feet. And you will get their karma. You will get their karma. You will take their suffering. Prabhupada said, I came here for that purpose. I came here for that purpose. To alleviate the suffering of the living entities. But in order to do that, not anybody can take that position. Acharya mam vijanyam navamanyeta karichit. That does not describe just an ordinary guru. There are so many gurus. Srila Prabhupada said, Saraswati, little girl, she's a guru. So should we go and take Diksha from her? Is that what we have to do? No. We must discriminate. We must study. We must analyze what Srila Prabhupada has given us in his books. We must study scrutinizingly the words of the Acharya, the Bhagavatam, so that we can understand what is what, who is who, and approach that person who is in a position to deliver us from the cycle of birth and death, and surrender to that person fully. That is Krishna consciousness. That is our intelligence. That is our part. We must follow that. We must come to this conclusion, studying very thoroughly the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, so that we don't become cheated. We don't become cheated. So here we see that a person who has come to such a high elevated position, he committed such offenses that due to that offense, his whole body was covered with vaginas. The body of Indra first was covered with vaginas. Just see what a horrible condition of life. And later on it was changed into eyes. And then he came to his senses. We have seen in the pages of the Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma also, Indra, so many who misunderstood their own position. This is one of the anarthas described by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, that we misunderstand our position. That is one of the anarthas. The second anartha is the desire to acquire material objects for sense gratification. So in this way, we become proud, we become puffed up by positions, by accumulation of material objects, by accumulation of wealth, even by accumulation of knowledge. In the previous verse, beautiful verse, leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who mislead people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in the previous verse, are in effect boarding a stone boat, and so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, this is very important, similarly, those who mislead people go to hell, and their followers go with them. Today I was discussing with one devotee, and he was telling me that yesterday was very intense. The drama was very intense. It is very intense. Krishna consciousness is very intense. Because Krishna consciousness is meant to wake us up from this illusion of thinking that we are of any significance. Actually, we are insignificant. Srila Prabhupada said, just think about, we are in this room. This room is situated in this temple. This temple is situated in Bangalore. Bangalore is situated in Karnataka. Karnataka is in India. India is on this planet. This planet is one of the many planets of the universe. And as you go higher and higher, who are we? Who are we? So insignificant. But there is no need to be discouraged of our insignificance, because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are eternal. Nitya nityanam, chetanas chetananam, eko bhaunam jo vivadatikam. And because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we share the same qualities of the Lord. Just the quantity is different. So the Lord is Satchidananda and we are also Satchidananda. Therefore, if we understand our position as the eternal servant of the spiritual master, of the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then this so-called insignificance is greatly significant. Because even though a person may feel himself insignificant, but if he's empowered by the Lord, he can do anything. Mukhaṁ karoti vāchalam pangulam lagayate girim Yat kripatan aham bande Shri Gurum Dinatari. Hanumanji, example of Hanuman. What power! He didn't know, he forgot everything. He thought that the sun was a little mango, and he was harassing the Brahmins. He was a young boy, so young boys are mischievous, so he was cursed that he would forget all of his powers. And then when the time came to serve the Lord, then Jambabam told him that you are Hanuman. You don't know who you are. You forgot. You are the eternal servant of the Lord. You can do anything. And then Hanuman, he grew up in size. And he stepped on the mountain. And just by pressure of his foot on the mountain, it crumbled into dust. And he leapt to Lanka. And in one shot, 100 yojanas, he covered. So is that insignificant? Arjuna, powerful, the Pandavas. He was so powerful. Nobody could defeat Arjuna. No one. And yet, at the end, in the Maushalya Leela, when he was taking the queens back to Hastinapur from Dwarka. Dwarka had been inundated. So he was taking the queens and he was attacked by those dacoits. You know the story. And he could not do anything. His bow Gandiva was useless. That same bow who killed thousands and upon thousands of powerful warriors in Kurukshetra, it became useless. Of course, those dakus were none other than Krishna. Nobody can steal the queens of the Lord. These are all pastimes. But at the same time, if we become proud of our positions, we are prone to commit offenses. Sometimes you see among devotees, they get some position, become temple commander, become temple president, GBC. And it so happens that you start dealing with the devotees who are lesser than you with contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt. So you can commit offenses. We've seen in the history of ISKCON, this institution, of how so many of those who were very close to Srila Prabhupada, in the end committed so many offenses to his lotus feet in so many different ways. Because if you associate with the spiritual master very closely, you start seeing things that are very common among conditioned souls. He eats, he sleeps, he passes stool, all these things. So you start thinking, well, what's the difference between me? Very dangerous. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, it is better not to have a direct association, physical association with the spiritual master. It's better to serve him in separation. It is far more dangerous to be associating directly, physically with the spiritual master. And he even said, generally, physical association with the spiritual master is for less intelligent. Because those who are highly intelligent, they follow the instruction of the spiritual master, no matter in what position they are in. They take the essence. Srila Prabhupada himself, he said, I had very little as physical association with my spiritual master in those years from 1922 till he passed away in 1936. Srila Prabhupada associated with Srila Bhaktivedanta very briefly, maybe a dozen times, maybe less. But what he did, as compared to so many of his God brothers, who had so much physical association with His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami. So the principle of relationship with the spiritual master is to follow the instructions. Then Srila Prabhupada said, I am always with my spiritual. I am never alone. I never felt alone. Though he was alone in New York, though he was penniless, though he had to live with the bums in the streets of New York, sharing the bathroom even with his own disciples in the beginning, standing in line with his own disciple to take a bath. Just see. We were discussing yesterday that the devotee, the spiritual master, must be very tolerant. Titikshava karunika suridas sarvadeinam ajatas satrava shanta sadava sadhu bhushanam. These are the garlands on the neck of the sadhu. These are these qualities. That he is tolerant, is compassionate. So such a spiritual master who is coming down from the spiritual world on the order of the Lord and engages his disciples in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, we must honor and we must respect him, we must worship him, and we must be very, very careful not to commit offenses to his lotus feet, because that is very dangerous. But we can see that though Brihaspati committed serious offenses against his spiritual master, he came to his senses. And in this verse, he is repenting and is begging, praising Brihaspati. I shall now bow my head at the lotus feet of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods. Because he is in the mode of goodness, he is fully aware of all knowledge, and he is the best of the Brahmana Shrestha. Now I shall touch his lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him and try to satisfy. So though we sometimes, because of our condition, we commit offenses either to each other as devotees or even to the spiritual master, still the spiritual master does not forsake us. He may chastise us in different ways to reform us. And if somehow we commit offenses to each other in the course of our activities, we should always take that straw in our mouth and approach those whom we have offended and beg for their mercy, beg for their forgiveness, extend our service to them. In this way, that offense can be easily repaired and we can carry on our endeavor in this great journey back home, back to Godhead, in the association of devotees under the expert guidance of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, Prabhu. Yes, it's called Hridaya Durbhalya, the weakness of the heart. This is another anartha, another one of the four anarthas. And the fourth one is aparad, which is very dangerous. So this Hridaya Durbhalya means the weaknesses of the heart. That though we try sincere, but because of association with the modes of nature for so many lifetimes, our heart is still attracted to things that are not favorable to the execution of devotional service. Because Srila Rupa Goswami said that we must accept what is favorable and we must reject what is unfavorable. But to reject what is unfavorable is very favorable to us. I mean, that thing which we have to reject, we are attached to. Just like a man may like music. He likes rock and roll. Or he likes to watch a movie. This is a hridaya durbalya. It's a weakness of the heart. He's not able to somehow or other, though he chants the holy name of the Lord, though he follows the principle, though he lives in the association of devotees, but because of previous impressions. Previous impressions are very powerful, especially childhood impressions. Here in India, of course, you have a very strong family tradition, and Krishna, like Prabhupada said yesterday, that Krishna consciousness is in the blood. It's in the blood here in India. So you are much more favored just by taking birth here. But in the West, right from childhood, we are exposed to so much garbage. So much garbage. Illicit sex everywhere. Gambling is everywhere. Meat eating is everywhere. Intoxication is everywhere. Right from childhood, we are exposed. Right in the family. So, by being exposed to these impressions, early age, it is very strong in the psyche, in the mind. So though we have seen so many devotees who joined Krishna consciousness and followed for some time, and then they fell prey again to that, and again for some time they engage in those activities, unfortunately, but because they had that strong perception of Krishna consciousness, by the grace of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, gradually, later on in life, they come back to their senses and start to practice with strong determination. This is also stated in the Nyabhikramana Susti Pratyabhyayona Vidyate Swalpam Apyasya Dharmasya. Arjuna asked, what happened to a person who has given up all his material activities and at the same time is not able to follow his sadhana? What happened to him? At the time of death, what happened to such a person? He has nothing material and he has nothing spiritual. What will happen to him? The Lord said, don't worry. You don't worry. Because of his hridaya durbalya that we just discussed, he is not able to with full determination to take up Krishna consciousness, and therefore is casual in his approach. So that is, we become casual. I've seen it myself. There is casual. There is no strong determination. Dhridavrata is not there. But because there is that affection for the spiritual master, affection for the devotees, and the strong desire to chant the holy name, then we are not lost. Krishna says there is no loss or diminution. And in this next life, he will take birth in such a position that those impressions of childhood will be so powerful that he will take up Krishna consciousness with great determination. And that is the difference between this devotee in this life and that devotee in his previous life. That in his previous life, because of his anarthas, he is not able to great determination to follow. But in this life, by the blessing of the Lord, he will be fully determined and he will not even look back. And he will go back to God. So we must try. We must try. Therefore, it is very imperative that we always remain in the association of devotees. Because it is easier. Just like all of us here in the temple, there is check and balances. Devotee doesn't come to Mangalarti. Prabhu, what happened to you? We have an app here. We are monitoring you. So this is very important. We voluntarily accept chastisement and reformation because we are weak. If we are strong, then all apps are useless. No? But because we are weak, so we place ourselves, just like a man who is diseased, he goes to the doctor, and the doctor gives him a prescription, and he takes that medicine, but it doesn't have an immediate effect. The disease is very strong. But just because the disease is strong, we should not give up the medical course given by the expert physician. So Srila Prabhupada is the expert acharya who is unlimited intelligence in guiding us. And he will guide us. He is guiding us. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada said the spiritual master may come in dreams and reveals certain aspects. Or sometimes through other devotees. Just like you may know, you don't like to go to Mangalarti, temple commander comes, gives you a big kick. Get up, rascal. Go to Mangalarti. Chant your 16 rounds. Follow. Sometime you may follow, and it may happen. It happened before so many times. You may even break the principles. So, but as long as in our heart we have the desire to serve the Lord, and there is lamentation and repentance, it's very powerful. This lamentation means purification. Oh, stupid. I fall down. I did this stupid thing. Oh, Krishna, please save me. Help me. Lamentation. You're lamenting. A karmi, he doesn't care. Oh, I fell down. Oh, let me do it again tomorrow. Yeah, he doesn't care. He wants more and more. That's the difference. But the devotee laments. And because of that lamentation, he becomes purified. And that's his purification. So we stay together. This is the perfect place where we can make great spiritual advancement very quickly. And like you said, there may be sincerity, but sometimes we slack. Get up and keep pushing. Any other questions? Does it answer your question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. As you mentioned about that snake and rope, and somewhere
Yes.
else Prabhupada also mentions that if we ask why, then there is not surrender. And in other place we find that we should not surrender our intelligence. We should surrender with intelligence. So how do we understand this?
Yes. Once you surrender, then the intelligence has no use anymore. You surrender by your intelligence. Don't surrender your intelligence. You surrender by your intelligence. But once you surrender, then your intelligence keep it outside. Because we are murkas. We are fools. If you continue questioning and doubting the spiritual master, then why taking the spiritual master? If you accept that I am in a precarious condition, and the spiritual, just like if you are in the ocean and you're drowning and I throw you a rope and you hold the rope and all of a sudden you ask, why you throw me the rope? Huh? Why? What is the use of that question? Does it save you? You take the rope, pull yourself up. So the purpose of intelligence, that is the purpose of Sattva Guna, is to come up to the acceptance of the acharyas, the acceptance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it is like a ladder. Bhagavatam says it is like a ladder. Once you are up, the ladder has no purpose anymore. You're up. So once we are at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, we have taken shelter. The Bhagavatam first canto said this body is like a ship. The spiritual master is like the captain. The Vedas are the favorable winds. And we can fly across this ocean of material nations and go back to God. Why do you need intelligence? You have Prabhupada's intelligence. What is the use of my intelligence? What is the use? My intelligence can only create trouble for me. That's why in the when Prithu Maharaj, after the sacrifice, he performed the horse sacrifice, and then the Lord appeared, came, and he said, "My dear Prithu Maharaj, please ask any benediction you want." And he said, "My Lord, don't ask me this, because what I want always put me in trouble. I don't know what really I want. And what I want is sense gratification. But you know what is good for me. You know what I need. Like a father knows the needs of his son. So similarly, the spiritual master knows the needs of his disciple. And therefore, if we place ourselves under the direct shelter of the spiritual master, then he will give us what we need. And Krishna says, Yoga Kshema Vaham Yaham. I give you what you need and I preserve what you have. So we don't need anything. Materialistic people say, oh, these people are fools. Yeah? They've given up their intelligence. They don't study science. What is the value of our science? Where has science led human society today? On the brink of destruction. And therefore, here it is stated in the previous verse. Leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who mislead people by directing them to the path of destructions. Are in effect boarding a stone boat. And following such leadership, they'll go to hell. And we go to hell with them. So the choice is ours. They have their own authorities, and we have our authority. We have Lord Chaitanya, we have the 6 Goswamis, we have Narada Muni, we have Lord Brahma, and we have His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the present Acharya, the present link. What more do we need? Let them learn their science and go to hell. And we give up our intelligence and go back home, back to God. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.